Do the women feel empowered? Are you empowered? All right, Brian, do we have some reactions on the floor? I know that some of you have been tickled, and you could have a school of thought that you maybe need discussion about, a question and inquiry that you feel my panelists this evening could do justice and give you guidance on. And so just raise your hand, the microphone will come close to you. Thank you very much. I'll start with the young lady. All right, yes, please, your name?
Thank you, Priscilla. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rita Biruganda. I work with Bank of Uganda. And I would like to appreciate the panel, the two Sheilas and Roberts, for a very insightful conversation. And my first question is Sheila, I think Sheila too, as you named her, talked about leading with weakness. So as a leader, if you're leading with honesty, you're exposing to your team the things you're not good at, doesn't that now show weakness on your end? So as a leader, how do you now strike a balance between leading with honesty and coming off as really weak to your team? Oh. And this one is to all the ladies, not just on the panel, but anyone in the house that could have insights. If Robert's wife was in the building, I would ask how she managed to stay a submissive wife. For anyone that is getting married, they tell you to stay as a submissive wife. And Robert spoke about not letting the titles or the office that you hold get to your head. At Bank of Uganda, I like that we're encouraged not to call people by their offices, but rather by their names. So as a lady in a leadership role, how do you make sure that the office you're holding or the position of power does not get to your head? And if Robert could share insights, how did the wife remain?
Thank you, Rita.
Submissive. Thank you.
That last question will go to Susan. The first question was about weakness, but it was really vulnerability. How do you embrace vulnerability, not as a weakness, but as a strength? And then, of course, the other was a general question. So we'll start with the vulnerability question. And then, of course, she was talking about submissive wife, but basically, I think what you're trying to ask is work and other life balance, right? Submissive wife specifically. Rita wants to understand the rings on your fingers. How do you balance wife and head of department, MD positions? Not you, Robert. No, Robert, first wait. Let's start with Sheila one.
Thank you so much. So Robert needs to tell us if he now picks the variables from the car in his submission. So as I mentioned that I lead with vulnerability, and I want you to know, and don't be fooled, that me, I get everything done, yeah? So as much as I tell you that I'm struggling here, but we need to submit a report, and probably I can't fix one or two errors, I am going to call everybody in the organization who can fix it, and they'll have it fixed, and we will submit on time. Does that answer your question?
I guess what she's trying to say that as women, we fear to put our nakedness out there to the public, especially in a workspace, that they know that this is my weakness, and so they may tramp on it or even use it against me. That is where she's coming from.
Oh, so, well, in my workspace, one of our core values is being vulnerable. So definitely nobody ever gets to use it against me, but they use it to help me. So the difference is I am not comfortable with my gaps. That's why I work on them. I keep on improving, I keep on changing, I keep on mastering. So it's not that every day I'm going to look for a finance guy to fix my Excel. He'll fix it today, tomorrow, the next day I will learn. So it's one thing to know that this is my gap, but I'm working on it. I am learning, I am growing, I am getting better. That's the difference.
Also, so Rita, to just add on that, I guess you should only be vulnerable to where you're going to get help from, right, ladies? it's not just about having a girl group or clique or circle and you're just pouring out things and talking about things when you're not going to be getting solutions. So vulnerability is good in a place where you are going to get solutions. They say no titles, Susan. All right, Rita also had a question, and I think you earlier talked about it with Brian, the balance between your other elements as Susan and your leadership position, that's one. And then the other thing that I would like to also ask is the fact that as people grow in different leadership roles, you had to move from another organization to join Nation Media Group. And so there was a lot of change that came with that for you on a personal level and a leadership level. And I know that it tickled you and challenged you to be able to then to adapt quickly at that point. And so we would like to hear about those adaptive methodologies or tools that you used to quickly have that transition and still express your leadership to your next destination.
Interesting. I think the minute I got the call from my board chair, who is sitting here, that I had been appointed in the position that I am right now, I then quickly, there's a book which is never leaves me. It's called The First 100 Days. For anybody who is transitioning, please get a copy of that book, because it will enable you to know what strategies you need to employ to make that transition smooth. I got that call when I was feeding at that time she was 5 months. And I got that call in the middle of changing bottles and things like that. And I asked myself, how am I going to do? I actually asked for time. I asked the chair, Professor Sejaka, and I said, can you give me more time? I need to get my house in order. He said, no, you're starting on January the 1st. I had no nanny. I was a complete mess, and yet I had to be ready to assume this job in 2 weeks. And that's when you have to have a huge support structure around you. People you can call on, I need a nanny. People you can call on because your entire life is about to change. So it helps to have a huge support structure. It helps to have friends you can go to and say, I am struggling here. I need you guys to pray for me. I need you guys to tell me that it's going to be okay. And I have a wonderful set of friends who always tell me, Susan, you can do this. My predecessor wrote on the whiteboard in the office, and I have never rubbed it off. When I entered the office, it said, Susan, you're the perfect person for this job. Call me if you need to talk. And I've never rubbed it off. It means I've never used the whiteboard. Because every time I look at it, it reminds me that there are people out there who believe that I can do the job. And that is my self-motivating factor. Now, like she has said, life can't be only about me being as an MD. Before as MD, I was so many other things. And I'm still those many things. I'm a mom, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a primary carer for my dad, I'm a friend, I'm a pastor, I'm a business leader, I'm a farmer, I'm an employer. I have so many other roles that I have. And somehow, I've got to find time for all these. I'm an auntie. I've got so many nieces and nephews. And right now I have a daughter who is 1 year and 8 months, who looks to me for everything. But even there, I have to call on my support structure. If I have to travel, I call on my sister. If I have to, so there's so many things that you have to realize that you don't have to do everything yourself. There are times when you can let your hair down, put your feet up, and let other people do everything. The house doesn't have to be spotless all the time. The clothes don't have to be washed all the time. There's a time you can let it go. and actually just relax and enjoy life. And even in office, you don't have to do everything all the time. There is pressure. Right now, pressure on numbers, pressure to deliver strategy. But the truth is you can't deliver it all the time. So it's knowing when to do what and prioritizing your time and giving priority when you need to give it, so that at any one point in time, everybody feels that their priority simply because you've prioritized your schedule.
When do you have fun?
I do. I actually do. And I think Brian answered. Brian asked me that question. Yeah. I do, because I schedule that time. I schedule time off. I schedule time away when I am not working, when I'm serving others. And one of the things that she asked, which I would love to answer, is how do you make sure this thing does not get to your head? Never ever forget your JM Food Day. Never ever forget where you've come from. Never ever ever forget where you've come from. Do not be that lady who, the position you have, all of a sudden, for 20 years you've been carrying your handbag. Now a man is carrying your handbag. Don't be that person. Don't be that person who, before you had time for your friends, and now all of a sudden, you do not find time for them at all. The day you fall, they'll be like, we were here all along. So it's very important for us, do not forget where you came from. And the other thing I would also like to say, because there are many perks that come with these positions. I know when I walk into the office kitchen, people start scampering. MD has come to the kitchen. I'm like, but in my house, I go to my kitchen. In my house, I prepare my own cup of tea. In my house, I prepare my own cup of coffee. So why can't I prepare my cup of coffee at the office? Why can't I walk to the microwave and warm my own food? So I think there are those things that make us forget that we are normal people. These titles are just titles. We are still normal human beings, and these titles should never get to our head. Because as fast as we go up, is as fast as we are going to land down. And we'll be looking for people to help us pick up the pieces, and they won't be there. So one of the things that I love to do, I serve community. I serve downtown. I serve people every week who live on between 500 and 1,000 shillings a week. And every time I am with those people who live on the streets, we run a program to get women with children who are living on the streets. We run a program to make sure they get housing. Every time I interact with those people, I remember that it is a blessing to have shelter. It is a blessing to have new clothes. It is a blessing to take your children to school.
All right.
And that always keeps me grounded.
A round of applause for Pastor Susan. Sheila too. Submission. Do you have submit to husband, submit to job? Then there's also the case scenario of she has arrived in the workplace. She has the title, she has the corner office, they serve her tea. Yeah? And so that mentality is somehow also affecting the home environment. And so her husband is not being attended to because now she's so important, she's so big. She can no longer do certain things. How do we deal with that? Because, marriage is also part of who we are, married women.
So, as ladies, as wives, marriage is one of our other offices. Our homes are another place where we're expected to do certain duties. So I think what helps me, and I'll speak from personal experience, is that my husband is my friend. There is no story that now you're a boss, so what? I mean, he's not fazed by my titles. I mean, he has seen me in childbirth, bearing. You know that situation, when you don't care about who is in the room, whether it's your father, your mother, at the end of the day, you want to get out of this pain. He has seen me at my weakest point. So what am I going to tell him? That now I'm a boss, so what? It really means nothing to him. It's literally, that is how we navigate our relationship. And conversely,
my title at work is giving me opportunities. I'm now on the plane all the time, all meetings all the time.
I'll tell you something. At the end of the day, it depends on how you carry. And if your partner has never been fazed by titles, by money, by positions, having them will not make any difference. And I encourage you ladies to make your partners your friends. Be honest, be truthful. Friendship is built over time. We were friends when we met. We are still friends because we've been intentional about always telling each other the truth. So walking to him and saying, I've now been promoted, he'll be happy for me. He'll congratulate me. But we shall continue to discuss why the plumber did not come yesterday. Yet I was the one supposed to call him. I'm not going to say, you know, I'm a boss, you should now be the one. No, it doesn't work like that. I can't even imagine. You know, when you have a friend who has known you from day one, you all have your girlfriends. And most of our girlfriends are friends that we've seen from primary, secondary. They've known us at our most vulnerable. Your position, your title will not change how they perceive you. And so I encourage you to have those kinds of relationships with your better halves, with your friends. Don't let this whole bossness enter your head. Because remember, ladies and gentlemen, it is temporary. It is temporary. If there's anything I've learned about positions of power and what have you, today you're MD, tomorrow you're not. And then what? Then you go back and say, you know, now let's be friends. That boat will have sailed, that man will have moved on, that child will have moved on. So it's important to remain grounded. It's important to remain who you are at heart. I think Susan spoke about Geneva. You know, remember where you've come from, ladies. You did not just land in that sea suit. It was work and effort, but at the core of it, you still remain that little girl who at the age of 5 or 6, your parent held your hand and took you to school. You still remain that girl at the very core.
All right. Robert, finally.
Sorry, did you say that your surname is Bioruganda? We need to have a clan meeting. Yeah. No, she's my relative, so. So, I hate to disappoint you. In my house, there's no submissive woman. None. And I'll tell you a story quickly, because I know we're running out of time. And because her workmates are here, they can go and verify. So, there was a time, things have changed a bit, but I used to drop her and pick her every day from work. So I would wait sometimes because she's finishing up and then she comes and we go. So this one time, a colleague of hers saw me in the parking spot waiting for her. So he ran to her office and told her, why are you making the CEO wait? So she asked him, she said, but the CEO is not around. So how am I making him wait? Then the guy said, no, I mean Robert. She said, no, that one is my husband. He will wait for me. So I don't see how somebody like that can be submissive. The second woman in the house is my daughter. There was an incident. They were flying out of a country, and one of her brothers had a problem with his ticket, and they were preventing him from boarding the plane. So all other passengers had boarded except them. So she took her sweet time until she reached the runway, where the staircase is, and then she refused to board the plane. So the flight people came, told her, no, you come in. She said, I am not boarding the plane until my brothers are here. They brought the captain. She told him, I am not boarding the plane until my brothers are here. This was a 15-year-old girl. How do you think today at 21 she's behaving? I lost that argument long ago. But in any case, I don't think that a submissive wife is exciting. I mean, Priscilla, where would the fun be?
But you see, okay, Robert, conclude. You're opening a can of worms. We may bring culture to these things. Baganda women are taught to ABCD. Close, Robert. Let's close.
There are things that my wife will do for me because of the affection she has for me. And there are things she will not do for me because they don't sit well with her values, and I have accepted them. In any case, I have just told you, the family of women where I come from. Their tolerance for those kinds of things is very low. My father's sister told my wife...
Robert, your storytelling. I said we are closing. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for my panel. We are streaming live on our NTV platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, as well as our website, www.ntv.co.ug, even on X, NTV Uganda. Empower Her 2025 is live. Now, we want you to participate in the hashtag that is running across our social media platforms. The hashtag is simple, Empower Her. You have heard from my panelists, and I know that you've picked something. I want you to get onto that hashtag and post something right now. Let's pull out our phones. Show me your phones. They usually say, when you say show me the money, it comes out faster. Show me the phone, it delays. All right, type hashtag Empower Her, and then put something that you have learned, enjoyed in this seating so far. As you do that, Sheila did speak about the wheel of life and really having a balanced life as a woman who is leading with purpose. And many of you may be asking yourself, what is this wheel of life? Well, a wheel of life is just giving you areas of your life that you need to pay attention to or give more attention to purposefully and intentionally, so that you can be better developed in those areas. And so these are some of the areas on the wheel. One of the areas is health. The other area on the wheel is fun and recreation. That's something, as you grow up the ranks of leadership, you tend to put it as a side B. Your friends are calling you and telling you, oh, we have a birthday party, oh, we have this engagement, this fun activity. And, well, because of your nature of work, yes, it's tiring, and so you end up making the lazy decision of saying no. But at what cost? They're going to come back and tell you nice stories you would have been a part of simply because you did make it an intentional and purposeful part of your life. Finances is another element. I'm pretty sure through Empower Her and the articles that we've been running, you've been reading the stories of the different women and how they've been leading with purpose in finances. There's also physical environment, and there's friends and family. Those must never be at the suffering end of you leading with purpose. Career is something else. These ladies have talked about continuous investment in your career. Learn something new. Position yourself to actually be in a place of influence so that you can be influenced positively, to lead with purpose. Of course, personal growth is also something else that you need to pay attention on. And romance is something else also, as ladies. Rita has said yes. All right, I trust that you have finished posting. Thank you so much. Next on our program, we're going to be having a gala dinner, and then thereafter we'll be having the Empower Her Awards 2025. We'll also be getting remarks from our sponsors, and we'll be closing this evening, hopefully, by 10 o'clock. Nation Media Group, we want to say thank you so much for continuously making space for women to be empowered in the nation. Then, of course, NTV, that has been a part and parcel of this journey, giving us a live audience. KPMG, thank you so much for your partnership. We do have Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation that has also continuously partnered with Nation Media Group to make women-related matters come to the forefront and in the boardrooms of influence and decision-making. Uganda Breweries is supporting the evening, so please feel free to order anything and everything on the house. Members, yeah? Then, of course, finally, you do have UEGCL that is also on board the Journey of Empowering Women 2025. I'm going to ask our panelists to rise to your feet. Yes. We do have some tokens of appreciation we want to give unto you. We'll take a photo and then we'll
welcome the board chair, Professor Sejaka, to hand over this beautiful the technical word is caricatures.
This is another love story.
We'll start with the man who has encouraged women not to be submissive. Robert Kamshire. Robert, what is going to happen in people's homes tonight? You will see it. We'll turn. That is Robert. The next is Sheila Mugisha from ATC. Sheila is representing the CEO of ATC, but Sheila, we are going to make your own. Wonderful. Dorothy couldn't be here with us, but Sheila did a fantastic job. Wonderful. And Sheila Kenigisa, yeah, Mountain Slayer, Wabula, Bamount Food Day. This will be at the reception. She's a mountain slayer. She actually walks every day. Yeah, she walks every day, for sure. Let's also welcome our board member Harriet. Harriet Musoke, please come for this picture. Yes, we'll have one more picture. We'll have one more picture with Harriet. If you also want something like that, guys, Daily Monitor sells them. If you want us to make one for your boss who is retiring, we can offer your staff members at a staff package. We can make them at a cost. Yeah. Can you give a big round of applause to our panelists who have done a fantastic job? When you go back home, you say at Empower Her, they said they are not submissive people because submissive people are boring. Hey, Robert.
Thank you, Priscilla and Brian. Good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. I was not supposed to speak, but being a teacher, I cannot just go away. So I'll just say three things to the ladies this time. The first one is showing up. And I think Robert Kamshenga mentioned it. Ladies don't want to show up. I've just been telling Priscilla that I'm amazed. She showed up at a conference in the morning, and then she had to go and change and come and show up again because she couldn't be in the same outfit. That is what showing up is all about. And showing up is 90% of the success you need. My culture, people say, Atali wo tagwira muti. Now, in corporate speak, what do we say? If you're not on the table, you're on the menu. Okay, ladies, if you're not on the table, you're on the what? Okay, make sure you're on the table. Thank you. Second thing I want to say to you ladies, conflict. Okay? Again, it was mentioned here that there's going to be conflict in the workplace. You better get used to conflict. Stand your ground. And actually, not all conflict is bad conflict. Some of it is healthy, and if there's no disagreement in the workplace, then you have a problem, okay? Then you are speaking like the Wasoga, Omwami Chako Manzena Chenkoba. In the workplace, it has to be a bit different. You have to be tactful, but you have to drive your point across. So please, when you encounter conflict in the workplace, learn how to deal with it, okay? Don't skirt around it, because that is always going to be an elephant in the room. My third message to you, ladies, is to say that you must always have continuous learning. You must always be on a journey to discover yourself. And that's the theme for today, leading with purpose. So don't stop learning because you got degrees. Lastly, I want to congratulate all of you on Women's Day, which is going to be this Saturday. Congratulations. I don't know why we have only one Women's Day in the world, but I think without women, this world would not be what it is. So congratulations to you and enjoy Women's Day. Lastly, I must thank the sponsors. Thank you so much. Keep this going. It's a great time for ladies to meet and compare notes. All the best. Enjoy yourselves.
Anytime now the gospel of Robert has spread, people are going to deal with us properly. There are very other strong women that are here with us. I'd like to introduce a deputy coordinator of the parish development model, Honorable Jovelyn Carissa, who is here with us at the front. Thank you so much. Hey, she has money, go to her. Purpose, show up, right? So instead of being at the back of PDM, thank you so much, Honorable, for coming. Dr. Scovia Adikini from Naro is also here. Senior researcher, thank you so much for coming, Doctor. Also with us is a partner at KPMG, Judith Erone. Thank you so much for coming. You met our board member, Harriet Musoke. Thank you so much for being here with us. Also with us, this is awesome, the only female Assistant Inspector General of Police in the Uganda Force. Where is she? Hey, please take a camera there. People need to see her. AIGP Namutebi Hadija. Hey. Those of you who don't know her, let's put the image on the screen. There she is. She is the only female AIGP in the force. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah. And since she's called Hadija, if you're here and you're a Muslim and you fasted, we are prepared for you, only for those who fasted. Because some of you, Hadija became Helen. Fast. So we prepared something for you. Please go and break your fast in case you've been trying to figure it out. There's also a prayer place for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we, of course, couldn't do this without our partners. Thank you so much, UBL. There are so many cocktails on the house, so please go and check them out. UEGCL, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, She Can, KPMG. Thank you so much for supporting the dream.
NTV, turning on your world.